I have a question for T Wood and a question for Jessica, and then my second question will be for the both of you. So, ladies first, I'm gonna start with you, Jessica. Now, the whole deal with Ronda Rousey, do you feel as though she is completely being overpraised by Dana White?
No, not at all. I mean, she did a great job for the sport. I mean, she opened up the door for me to get in. It makes my job a lot easier. So, you know, if she does her thing, I'm gonna do mine. I mean, it's just a new age, a new age of female fighters are gonna keep coming. So, I mean, I'm here now. It's gonna be really hard to get rid of me.
I heard that. I'm ready for the evil too. Now, for T Wood, I'm looking forward to your next bout against Carlos, the Natural Born Killer Condon.
Ooh, kill him.
And now let's take a trip back to UFC 167. There's a lot of feedback going back and forth about who really won between Johnny Hendricks and George St. Pierre. In my count, I thought that Johnny Hendricks has dominated George St. Pierre. What's your opinion on this?
When I was at the fight watching it, I thought that I was really surprised by the verdict. I thought Johnny Hendricks did his thing. After going back and watching the video, you know, I really had second thoughts on it. I thought that GSP had won all the odd rounds. You know, it really came down to that third round, and the winner of that round, in my opinion, won the fight. GSP was controlling that round. He got taken down at the very last second of the third round. He got up to his feet and he actually tried to take Johnny Hendricks down. So I think when you scoring rounds, you really got to score who's winning this minute, who's winning the next minute. Now, who won that whole 5 minutes? Now, that round's in the window. So you can't go back and say, okay, because this person hit him harder, he dropped him to the ground. Now I'm going to go back and say he won the first round. So I think round by round, if you're going to break it down, I feel like it was a close fight, but I do feel like GSP edged him out.
Okay, and now my question for both the lady and the gentleman. How do you feel as far as the discipline goes when it comes down to the referees and the judges making bad mistakes when fighters train very hard for these fights?
I mean, I think we can all say as fighters, like, our job is to not let it go to the judges, and you're supposed to do you know what you're supposed to do to finish the fight so it goes up to no one else, right?
I mean, it's easy to say don't let the fight go to the judges. Some guys just don't want to be finished. Some guys don't want to be knocked out. I don't want to be knocked out. So I'm going to fight with everything I got to make sure I get the victory. But when Bert tells you, don't leave it up to the judges, baby, they'll make you cry every time. It's until you've cried and you've had a victory, a fight that you felt you won and you lost. It makes you come out with a different urgency. It makes you want to go out there and make sure that the victory is in your hands and it's in your destiny. So I think for you fans, I think for the organization in general, if you want to be a champion in the sport, you got to go out there. You got to put on the type of performances that the organization want to see, that you guys want to see, and one that's going to challenge us to be the best. So for me personally, I've been on both sides of it. I've been on the sides where I felt I won the fight, I felt like it was taken from me, but then I came right back out and I made it no question.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to the big evil, and I'm ready to see T Wood do some damage.
Demetrious, I have a 3-year-old son who's a huge fan of yours, and he likes to fight, throws kicks, and he's real into it, loves watching your fights. He likes watching flyweights a lot. He sees you guys in the ring and he thinks you're the same size as him. And,
we're probably close, or we might have it beat. It's okay.
So he always talks about you and talks about you with your Xbox shorts. He's always talking about that. So I was wondering, I have more of a request if I could record you doing a little shout out for my son. His name's Jude. You could say something about fighting him in the future, something I can record it. Would that be okay?
Is it Judy?
Jude.
Jude?
Yeah, like, hey, Jude.
Okay, yeah, real quick.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, what's up, Jude? We might be fighting in the future, so I'll be wearing my Xbox shorts, and you keep good in school, be a good kid, and hope we'll fight in the future.
All right, thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
It's going. All right, just got a shout out to, I'm coming from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
There you go. My first question goes to Mr. Woodley. My first question is, you're going to be fighting Carlos Condon. What are some of your preparations for his his strategy against Jackson's camp?
I don't really feel like I'm fighting Jackson's camp. I'm fighting Carlos Condon, you know. I didn't want this fight because I thought it was easy. He was a pushover. You know, I'm actually a fan of Condon. I like watching him fight. He brings it every time. This kid, you know, you never can count him out. Second round, he looks like he's about to get finished. He comes off this tool and comes to win. So for me, I need these types of bouts. I need, you know, the bout with Josh Koscheck because he was going to force me to use the tools that God gave me. And I think Carlos Condon is going to be my toughest test, and I'm looking forward to it. So my strategy is to be the best Tyron Woodley I can be. If I come out there like a ball of fire, I think, you know, a hard right hand to any welterweight, I put him on the ground, and I think that, you know, I'm gonna get a chance to test his chin. I think I'm gonna get a chance to test his cardio that everybody's talked about, and I think I'm the new generation of the sport, and I'll prove it.
I expect a war. And my next question is, when is the UFC coming to St. Louis, Missouri?
That's a great question, man. That's your guys' job. You know, you guys got to get out there, not only for St. Louis, you know, Chicago. You know, you should want one that's close in the Midwest. So if you guys want to watch a UFC, drive 4.5 hours. So you guys need to get on Twitter, social media, Instagram, and voice your opinion. Get after Dana White and UFC and tell them that you want a UFC in St. Louis or in Chicago. And that's probably the way you're going to get it done. Go buy some pay-per-views. I went and fought in Winnipeg, and that's because they bought the most pay-per-views. So go and show your support, show your voice through social media, and I'm sure it'll happen.
Thank you for your time. And the next question goes to Mrs. I. What are your thoughts on Holly Holmes? She's not in the UFC yet, but what do you think about her?
I think Holly's great. You know, I actually saw her fight in Bellator whenever she fought and ended up stopping the girl with a liver punch. So, you know, me, I'm a striker. I admire people that are willing to stand up and find that sweet science. So I think she's a great fighter. I think that having that boxing for so long, and just like in any sport, if you box, judo, wrestling, or just, you know, strike, I mean, you kind of favor that. So I think that for someone like her, it's a little bit harder of adjustment. So I think that she'll handle it fine. She's with a good camp and she can do it, but you know, hopefully she finds a home, you know, somewhere for herself, or, you know, figures out what she's going to do with her career. I know that they said she was making more money boxing, then stay in boxing if you're going to make more money. I mean, isn't that the name of the game, is to provide for yourself wherever the money is?
Good answer. All right, one more question. And,
Man, making rules.
All right, I like to make rules anyway. All right, what do you think about Cyborg? If she ever makes it to the UFC with no barriers causing her to enter?
I don't think she could ever make 35. I mean, bottom line. I mean, there's just humanly not possible for her to make 35. And if she does, I mean, kudos to her, man. She did it. So, I mean, until you come to 15 or 35, you can't mess with any of the girls in the UFC. You can talk all you want, but make a choice. I'm either 15 or 35 because that's what they're offering us. So take what's offered. Don't push for something that isn't offered.
Look for your future bouts. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Evil boy. How you doing? I got two questions. One for DJ. What do you feel about John Lineker getting a title shot after not making weight 3 out of 5 fights? And do you think you want to fight him, or what do you think he has to do?
As far as me fight him, if it happens, it happens. And as far as him not making weight, you know, 3 times, he's still in the UFC. So, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, if it was me, I would have cut him, but that's just me. I mean, part of the job, I mean, when you sign the contract, it says you got to make 125, not 128, not 130. You have the amount of time. I can understand if it was like a short notice, but for me, like, my coaches tell me I have 2 jobs to do. One is make weight and fight. That's all I got to do.
Sure. Now, this one for all of you. It's about the judging. Do you think the judging should be changed so it doesn't have to be in their hands all the time? So you can win a fight when you think you're supposed to without having to finish it?
I think they need to start a union for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a governing, you go to school for it, you learn a system, and there's a certification, you know, program that is universal. I mean, if you go to be a carpenter somewhere in the world, like, I mean, you still have to go, you have to be an apprentice, you have to walk through these steps. So I think that now, you know, judging, because it still, you know, goes back to like the boxing and just, you know, fighting is still developing. So I feel like if we were able to, just like they have reffing schools, like you can go and you learn how to ref and you get a certificate and you get a license, yet again, I think that there needs to be some kind of governing body for them. You go for a 2-year program, you learn it, you maybe shadow someone among fighting, and you know what, that will give us a little bit easier of like a curriculum, you know, that is followed. You know, when you see a fight, this is what you're looking for, cage work, you know, I mean, the diversibility of being a good fighter. Thank you.
Thank you. T. Wood, nice watch.
Oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I don't think that's going to happen, though, with the judging. So I think, you know, you gotta realize this is knowledge. You know, you gotta know that this kid's a wrestler. He's being out wrestled by a striker. You gotta know that's a striker. He just got, you know, a vicious combination put on my wrestler. So I think that points should be scored. you know, just based on the fight. I think people don't know what they're watching, and you know, it's going to take years and years to get that figured out. I think we just, as fighters, need to realize that things are out of our control. Fight as hard as you can. Try to go for the finish. Try to go for a win. And then if you go to the decision, you better close your eyes and say a prayer. But really, I think it's something that a lot of people pay too much attention to, and it's nothing that in our time frame we're gonna be able to change.